For Liberty and Economics Review and libertyandeconomics.com, I'm Nick Sorrentino. So, I'm coming to you from outside. Again, it's a beautiful summer day here, but we have incredible winds blowing about 40 miles an hour in gusts. 40 miles an hour in gusts. So if I get blown away, the computer pinwheel's out of control. You'll understand why. Hopefully, whoever finds the computer will upload it to YouTube. Um, anyway, so earlier this morning, I read that the Obama administration is not um, ruling out sabotage in the uh, Thursday's dramatic decline in the stock market, 1,000 point plunge and then recovery. Well, recovery is relative recovery, um, and it almost sounded like Gibbs, the press secretary, is basically. It almost sounded like they were trying to deflect blame, as if to say that this is really not indicative of how the economy is really going and the stewardship of the Obama administration. Um, and so the only reason for this sort of a decline would be because of sabotage. Well, I mean, I personally think sabotage likely had nothing to do with it, but who knows? Um, the thing that strikes me is that if indeed the president is willing to say that the market is subject to sabotage and that they're looking into this, what does that tell you about the market? Uh, it really tells me that you know, the integrity of the market is really potentially, perhaps, unsound. Now, this is no newsflash to probably most of the people watching this video. But I think it's interesting because by seeking to deflect blame, they may have actually dug themselves a deeper hole because, as people really ponder that statement, if, for instance, in the Sunday morning talk shows tomorrow, the pontificators get out there and they really start talking about this as a potential sabotage situation, which remains to be seen. Who knows? It may or may not happen. I think it probably won't, because I think that the Obama administration will recognize kind of what they said and they'll try to quietly not continue with it. But if, in the event that they're dumb enough to continue with this narrative, I mean, the average investor, I mean, you got to go, what is this game? I mean, why am I playing this? I mean, Goldman Sachs and, the sovereign wealth funds, they have access to tools that I can't even dream of. I can barely conceptualize, but I'm buying my mutual funds. I don't know. Or even worse, trying to day trade around these guys. Um, I don't know. I just think it's very telling. But we'll see how it goes. The week ahead should be an interesting thing to say the least. We'll see how the European thing, what happens over the weekend. I haven't seen anything yet that said that the ECB, the European Central Bank, is going to come out and try to allay fears. But I mean, they've got to. I mean, I think the assumption on Wall Street is that they will, and just say that they're going to pour money into Greece, kind of like how the Fed did a year and a half ago into Wall Street. Um, so we'll see. So and I will also say this. Now, I do not subscribe to this point of view. Okay, I'll say that as a disclaimer. But I think it's interesting, and this thought occurred to me. I've been watching Max Kaiser for quite a long time, and if you don't know who he is, you really should look him up. Max Kaiser. He has a million videos on YouTube, and his perspective is one of, I think, is extremely interesting. He's a former trader and basically helped create derivative markets and all sorts of stuff. So he has a unique insight into the situation. And he is no fan of Goldman Sachs. In fact, he's probably been one of their main detractors. Though he is thoroughly out in the wilderness, you won't see him on CNBC for sure. But he basically puts no faith at all in Goldman Sachs. And he is an abashed capitalist as far as I can see. Max is. But he sees, kind of what Goldman Sachs has been pulling here for for years, as basically rigged capitalism. And so Okay, so the administration decides that after Goldman Sachs was their greatest private contributor after the California university system to Obama, that now Obama's going to turn around and they're going to have this show trial and make a example out of Goldman Sachs. Maybe Goldman Sachs actually thinks that they're really going to take him down, and then Goldman Sachs, which controls about 70% of the trades, something like that, on the New York Stock Exchange, decided that they're going to take down everybody with them. Uh, and like I said, I don't subscribe to that theory, and I wouldn't even call it a theory. But it was just something that occurred to me as just pure wackiness. But things just seem to be wacky nowadays. So, anyway, on that note, on that complete conspiratorial note, till next time, I'm Nick Sorrentino.